Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're here with part 50 of our F1 2021 MyTeam career mode here for the Australian Grand Prix, our home race at Albert Park. Hopefully we can have a good one and do the home fans proud as we have a look at the driver standings heading into the round. We do have a bit of a gap over our teammate Verstappen, who is now the one chasing us down in the championship. Even though we had a pretty shocking race last time out in Brazil, we did have enough of a buffer to continue leading the championship with 3 rounds to go. So hopefully we have what it takes to hold off the charge of our teammate and Charles Leclerc for the remaining rounds of the season. We have done very well here in qualifying. We got pole at our home Grand Prix. Verstappen unfortunately had an engine penalty, so hopefully he's able to make a bit of a comeback from that throughout the race, and hopefully we can just have a nice, clean, exciting race here at our home Grand Prix. Leclerc is pretty far up here with us as well, so it's going to be important to make sure we get a better start than him. But yeah, without further ado, let's have a look at the qualifying rundown.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Benjamin lines up on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Vettel, Valtteri Bottas and Sainz, Norris, Hamilton, Gasly and Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Russell, Max Verstappen, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Latifi, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Nobuharu Matsushita and Daniel Ricciardo. They've taken a grid penalty. Mazepin, Schwartzman, Ocon and Mick Schumacher. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
So here we are, sitting on the grid for the Australian Grand Prix, our home Grand Prix, in pole position. A perfect qualifying session from us to outscore one of our title rivals, Charles Leclerc, who qualified second. So really it was either pole position or nothing coming into this qualifying session. But other important positions are our teammate Verstappen being right down in 13th after having to take an engine penalty, and Daniel Ricciardo as well, also taking a couple of penalties to put himself right down in 18th. So it's going to be interesting to see how those two guys are able to come through the field. We do have 2 new DRS zones around this circuit, similar to Suzuka, how we had a new DRS zone. We have 2 DRS zones added to the Albert Park circuit to try and help increase the racing and make it a bit more exciting and entertaining for this final season of F1 2021 MyTeam career mode. But you can see here we all are finishing up our formation lap, lining up on the grid, ready to go. There's no rain forecasted for the race, so it should be dry running from start to finish, a standard one-stop race. And yeah, we're just going to try and make sure we keep it clean and not have another Brazil situation where we don't finish the race. But here we are, revving the engines, 5 red lights, and we are finally, there we go, underway for the Australian Grand Prix. We get a much better start than Leclerc. He's actually had a bit of a slow one, as Sergio Perez is actually going to come up around our outside of turn 1. We're going to go side by side with the Mexican. What a great start there for Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. Leclerc's actually dropped right down to P4 from second, so a real bad start from him as we head down into turn 3, still side by side with Sergio Perez here through turn 3. Through turn 4, and Perez, has he got himself ahead? Yes, he does. On the exit there, he's just gotten himself ahead of us into the lead, so we've dropped to second. So, yeah, not a great start from myself or Leclerc. We're just going to have to try make sure we stay nice and close to the Red Bull. We're going to go with a little bit of an order check here on lap 2 to see if anything really got shaken up. We've got Perez leading the way in the Red Bull, myself in second behind. You can see trying to have a little look into turn 3, but I wasn't quite able to get the move done there. Then in third, we got the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel ahead of title rival Charles Leclerc. So interesting to see if maybe Ferraris do a bit of team orders to swap them around. We got Bottas in 5th, the 2 McLarens of Sainz and Norris in 6th and 7th, doing a bit better than they have been normally. They're normally down 9th and 10th this season. We got Hamilton in P8, the lead Mercedes, obviously with Ricciardo with that engine penalty. And then we got the 2 AlphaTauris of Gasly and Tsunoda rounding out the top 10. Max has made up a couple spots already, which is good to see. He's into 11th place, and Ricciardo's also made up a few spots there from 18th to 14th on that opening lap sort of frenzy there. As we come to the end of lap 2, we are still right behind Sergio Perez. And just to demonstrate how close we are at the front, Perez is going to set the fastest lap, then we do, then Vettel does. So yeah, very close between the three of us, and then obviously Leclerc's just behind Vettel, Bottas just behind Leclerc, so very tight, close racing at the front of the field here, and we're going to demonstrate the new DRS zones here around Albert Park now that DRS is enabled. You can see, there we go, we enable it now as we head down towards the right, the first chicane here on the track as we go alongside Perez, and we do get the move done there ahead of the Red Bull, and we, as you can see here, we also have DRS enabled down this straight, sort of similar to Mexico, how you have it down the main straight, and then immediately after those first couple corners, it's the same DRS zone, just sort of split apart between the corners there, and then obviously Perez has DRS on us down this straight here. So, yeah, I think that will help with the racing a little bit, just help cars keep a bit closer. As we cut to the end of lap 3, Verstappen now going for a move on Yuki Tsunoda. This is to get himself into the points-paying position, which is very important for us for the Constructors' Championship. You can see he's actually struggling a little bit there. Tsunoda doing very well to keep ahead of Max Verstappen. Obviously, Tsunoda not really in the junior team to what Max's senior team is now, that Max is in our team and not Red Bull, as Max now goes around the outside of the AlphaTauri. He'll have the inside for turn 4, and he does get the move there done eventually. And actually, Ricciardo's now right on the back of Tsunoda, so Ricciardo's already made up another couple spots already. So Ricciardo going real quick here as we cut to the end of lap 4. Perez actually under attack from the Ferraris. We've got a little bit of a gap now because of this battling that's happening. Vettel around the outside. He'll have the inside for the penultimate corner. Are they going to sort themselves out there? No, Perez is going to hold it in, so they're going to go side by side through the final corner as well now, as we've got a massive gap. We've got over a second now, actually, as Perez does pull himself ahead. Everyone has DRS, so no one getting caught out there with a lack of straight line speed. But Vettel to the inside, no, actually, Leclerc's going to take opportunity of that and get ahead of his teammates. So there weren't any team orders in that. Leclerc just had to make the move stick himself, and he has done it as they head down to turn 3 now. Vettel having to defend from Sainz and Bottas. Sainz actually going for a move on the Red Bull here, so good to see the McLaren with a little bit of pace to try and make some moves, and he does get the move done into P5, so yeah, the McLaren's looking like they have a little bit more pace than normal. They did bring a minor upgrade into this, but it seems to have done absolute wonders for their pace. So, yeah, just one little minor upgrade seems to have really helped them get themselves not right to the front of this fight, but they're certainly not lingering down the bottom of the top 10, sort of losing from this front pack. As you can see now, here is another example of the new DRS zone. Perez closing right in on us as we head into the chicane. He's not able to get the move done, but he was able to get right up alongside us and sort of put us off as we headed through there, except now he's not able to do anything with it because here comes Charles Leclerc to make a move on the Red Bull down towards the end of the DRS straight, and he almost got it done there. They almost made contact, the two of them, as they head side by side through here again, and Leclerc does get the move done and into second place. So, yeah, Leclerc and ourselves have found ourselves back into our starting positions now with ourselves leading, and Leclerc starting in second and now back into second finally. And he's going to be chasing us down, I'm sure, because he still will want to win this championship, obviously. As we head into turn 1, Vettel looking to make a move on Perez, but not able to do it. And now here comes Carlos Sainz. We saw he was able to benefit from this sort of thing last time out. He's going to try and have a go again as they head down into turn 3. He's going to go to the outside of turn 3, which will give him the inside of turn 4. Is he able to make that move work in the McLaren? Yes, he does. He gets Vettel out on that outside curb, and that gives Sainz the exit he needs to get up into 4th place. Just Sainz on fire at the moment here in Australia. I wonder if he'll be able to maybe get Perez as well if he keeps going. But here we go now. Leclerc going for a move, and he's got it a bit earlier than Perez there, so he's able to just sweep around the outside of us into the chicane. And he's actually going to not have DRS. Neither of us got DRS there. Not sure what happened there. But neither of us were given DRS down that straight, which is, yeah, a bit interesting to see. But as we head to the end of lap 8 now, we do have DRS on the Ferrari. And we're going to close in rapidly as we head down towards turn 1. Leclerc tries to go defensive. We just go right up to that inside line there. And we're going to have the inside. Leclerc tries to send it around the outside there. And to be fair, he has kept it there. So we are side by side now down towards turn 3. But we have DRS. Leclerc doesn't. And we have successfully retaken the lead of our home race here. But further behind, wouldn't you know it, Sainz going for a move on Perez. The same move he's made twice already this race, and he gets it done. Carlos Sainz in the McLaren, now into 3rd on the podium here at Albert Park. I don't know what has gotten into Sainz. Lando's still down in 7th. Sainz now onto a podium position, so good to see there, the McLaren actually performing pretty well here around Australia. As we cut to lap 10 now, though, we got Leclerc coming for a move on us here. At the end of the DRS straight, we're going to go defensive. Leclerc goes to the outside. We're going to go side by side through this final sector of the track. This seems to be a very popular sort of battle that's happening all throughout the field at the moment through this last sector. Leclerc forces us a little bit onto the grass as we go side by side now through the final corner. Which one of us has DRS? It's Leclerc, so we have no DRS. And it's going to be us versus Leclerc versus Carlos Sainz has got himself into this to try and fight for the lead. We have to go back to third place now, and Sainz has got the move done. Sainz leads the Australian Grand Prix. We don't have DRS, but I'm going to try and get the move done on him here. We're going to go to the inside of turn 3. We're going to go side by side with McLaren after back out, and Leclerc's hit us. We got floor damage. I'm on the grass and the gravel. I've spun in front of the field there. There's front wings flying everywhere. Not again. This is the third round in a row now. We've been involved in some sort of incident. Max has completely lost his front wing. Same with Daniel Ricciardo. We have some pretty heavy floor damage. And we're going to have a look here at some replays. You can see how far back Leclerc was. What was he doing there to go for that move? And I don't even think he's got front wing damage. You can see here's the onboard with Lewis Hamilton. He was behind a little bit in this pack. And you can see everyone's just suddenly gotten on the brakes. And he's just run up the back of Lando and lost his front wing. We'll have a look at the onboard of our teammate we saw also had no front wing. And yeah, same thing. Everyone in front slowed down very unexpectedly. And Max has run into the back of him. You can see here's Ricciardo. He wasn't even in that front battle. He was overtaking Gasly here. And just out of nowhere, everyone stopped on the track. He's tried to stop there, but he's run into the back of his teammate. He didn't really have anywhere to go because we were still there. And it is a safety car. I don't know if I mentioned that already. There is a safety car. And you can see how stuck we are behind Ricciardo because he has no front wing. And we're going to go for a little bit of a cheeky move there into the pit lane to get ahead of the Mercedes, our former teammate. Similar to what Sebastian Vettel did in China that one time. And also very recently in the final round of Formula Zvezky, if you haven't seen that video, we made that move as well on an AI car into the pit lane there. So plenty of experience in that sort of move. And we are going to come out of the pit lane in 7th place. So not super far down. Not like USA a couple of rounds ago where we came out in P16. And everyone ahead of us has also made a pit stop here except for Fernando Alonso in the lead of the race because he started on the medium tyres. And so, unfortunately for the Alpine there, his strategy just sort of doesn't work for pitting early because his pit window will open up later in the race. But here's a little auto check under the safety car. We got Alonso leading the way. As I said, he has to make a pit stop anyway. But now no one else does. So we got Carlos Sainz effectively leading the race there in 2nd place in the McLaren. So absolutely incredible. The McLarens have been struggling so much this season. And to see Sainz leading the race is just something to behold. We got Vettel and Perez in 3rd and 4th. The other McLaren of Lando Norris in an effective 4th there. So very good for both McLarens at the moment. Gasly in 6th. That's a legitimate position for him there. Ourselves in 7th. Bottas 8th. Our closest title rival again is Charles Leclerc, and he is in 9th place. And George Russell in the Porsche Williams there sits in 10th. So I'm sure he'll be looking to try and score some points there for Williams, who don't really have a lot of them to their name at the moment. But some big stories here. Lewis Hamilton out of the points in 13th. Our teammate Verstappen really out of the points down in 15th. So he's lost all his progress that he made up at the start of the race and some. And then Ricciardo, even worse, down in P19. So it's going to be interesting to see if these guys are able to get themselves to the front. They've done it once before. There's no reason they can't do it again. Let's hope our teammate at least can get towards the front. As we go to the safety car restart, we had a massive launch there. And somehow got right up alongside Gasly. He had the tow though for the rest of the straight, so he sort of pulled back ahead a little bit, but we do eventually get ahead of the AlphaTauri there, so good restart from us, and now we are down to chasing down that front pack. You can see Lando Norris up in P5. We've already closed up to him because that Alpine is so slow. You can see the end of lap 15. We're all still behind him there. Alonso doing a great job of defending, but he is costing everyone so much time. And Sainz now, this might as well be called the Carlos Sainz overtake because he's going to do it again here, around the outside of turn 3, inside of turn 4, force the other car onto that exit curb and get the move done. So Sainz into the lead of the Australian Grand Prix, and with how slow that Alpine is, he can really try and get himself a real nice buffer before anyone else is able to do anything. You can see this is the same lap, but Sainz has already got pretty much 2 seconds on the field. Vettel going for a move on the Alpine. They're going to go side by side here into the right-hander. Alonso putting up a good fight. So Vettel not completely ahead yet. They're going to go side by side through there, and Vettel does finally get the move done, but he's lost 2.5 seconds to Sainz. Sainz has really gone. We also go back to us there. We've already overtaken Lando and Perez, so we're into 4th now, effectively 3rd. We're back on the podium here at our home Grand Prix, but here comes Sergio Perez. He's going to go for a move on us down into turn 1, very reminiscent to the first lap of the race here, where myself and Perez have gone side by side through turn 1 and 2. Who's going to come out ahead of this? You can see this has allowed Alonso to pull a little bit of a gap to us, which will give him some breathing room to try and get those tyre temps back under control there, and might even just help him defend a little bit more. We do, though, finally get that move officially done on Sergio Perez, and now we're going to try and close in on the Alpine, which won't be too much of an issue. You can see this is lap 16 here, so still same lap as we head down the straight. We do have DRS, and it is going to be a pretty simple move there with the DRS on the Alpine. He just doesn't have the pace to try and hold us off there, and that is us now into 3rd place officially. And look at the gap, though, we have to the cars ahead. But I don't know if we're going to be able to chase him down, because I have that floor damage. I'm really struggling to keep this car pointed straight. I'm having to drive slower than I really need to just keep the car on track. And the only reason it looks like we're still doing well is because Alonso's holding everyone up. So really, Alonso's doing us a massive favour here. Unfortunately, we've got a bad camera angle here, but here's Perez trying to get a move done on the Alpine, not able to do it. So the Alonso train coming in from real life here. Alonso doing an absolutely incredible job of defending from everyone. And you can see he's now even back Perez into Norris. So Norris now going for a Carlos Sainz-esque move here, forcing Perez to that outside curb. And he does get the move done into an effective 4th place once Alonso makes that position. So the McLaren's going absolutely superbly here around Albert Park. I don't know if it's just the track suits their car, or if it is that minor upgrade they brought doing absolute magic on that McLaren. But you can see Lando now going for a move on the Alpine. But again, Alonso defending with his life here to try and hold these guys off. I don't know why, because he still has to make a pit stop. He's just doing this just to be a pain in the ass, I think, because look at this. Lando is still not able to get ahead of Alonso. They're going to go side by side, and Lando doesn't have DRS. Alonso got the DRS, so Alonso's going to pull back ahead of everyone here. Perez gets ahead of Norris. Perez tries to go for a move on Alonso. Alonso just sweeps in front. He doesn't care. And now, once again, it is the McLaren versus the Red Bull here. Again, though, Lando doesn't have the DRS, so as they head down to turn 3, Alonso is held on to 4th place. Again, it's going to be Norris versus Perez here through turn 3. Through turn 4, is it going to be Norris that gets ahead? It is, so Norris holds on to 5th there. But, my gosh, Fernando Alonso, what a defensive drive this has been from the Spaniard, the 2-time champion, showing why he's got those 2 titles to his name. And on lap 18 here, he's done. He's had his fun. He pulls into the pit lane for his one and only pit stop. But this now releases everyone. We've got 3.7 seconds to the cars behind, but they are going to be closing in like a no tomorrow, because we just do not have the pace. And Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari retires from 2nd place. That is not what Ferrari need to keep in this title fight. This is great for our team, especially with Max down and out of the points, but Ferrari will be absolutely fuming with that. But as we cut now to lap 23, you can see we've lost that entire gap we had to the cars behind. And now Lando with the DRS to the inside of the right-hander. He's not able to get the move done. We're going to go side by side through this whole section, but just look how much I'm squirming around, how much understeer I have, because this car just does not have anywhere near the levels of downforce that it should. We've got nearly 14 seconds to Sainz up ahead, because I just do not have the pace to keep up with these guys around us. As, again, Lando getting stuffed over with the DRS there. We have the DRS, which will help us defend a little bit as we head into turn 1. Lando, though, very brave, sticks his nose back in there. Luckily, I noticed at the very last second, and we're able to avoid making contact with the McLaren. As we head down to turn 3, it's going to be 3 wide between myself, Perez, and Lando. We all get very, very tight there. Somehow, no contact between us. And Lando is ahead, though. And we're going to go side by side with Perez. We just keep it ahead of Perez. But that's now a 1-2 for McLaren. I repeat, that is a 1-2 for McLaren. They have had an absolutely miserable season so far after taking out the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship last time out in Season 2. And now, finally, it looks like they're getting a little bit of a taste of that front, the front of the pack there as they go 1-2. And now you can see eventually it was pretty inevitable. We're losing out to Sergio Perez here. We're going to go side by side through the last corner we have actually held on there, and actually Perez into the pit lane, so that he must have dinged his front wing a little bit somewhere, and he's going to have to come in for a front wing replacement. That's a huge shame for the Red Bull there. He's been doing very well this second half of the season, but as we now head down towards turn 1, Charles Leclerc, one of our title rivals, to the inside. I try and fight it, but he does get ahead there, and at this point, I was very, very angry with Leclerc, because it was his fault. That incident that caused the whole safety car and our floor damage. So I send it to the inside, lock the front wheels, because I just don't have the downforce for that sort of speed. We do get the move done on Leclerc, but you can see running so wide because I just don't have the grip to hold that move. And Leclerc does get into third eventually, and look, he's already gone. We just don't have the speed of these front guys as we lose it a little bit there on that curve, getting some wheel spin. And here comes Valtteri Bottas, not even a competition really. I just let him go there down the outside of the chicane because I knew I wasn't going to be able to hold it side by side through that very fast speed corner. And luckily we do get a little bit of DRS there on the Red Bull, which helps us keep ahead of Hamilton for a little bit longer, but really it's inevitable he's going to catch us. But Ricciardo, trying to get back into the points, has an engine failure. So huge shame there for our former teammate. And some shocking luck, I must say, for the Australians here at home, with Ricciardo now out of the race after starting down in 18th, getting into the points, and then dropping back to 19th, getting back to the points, and then having an engine failure. And ourselves now just falling further and further back into the field here with just no pace. I'm going to try and hold it around the outside of Hamilton here, but they're running very wide. We just become a skateboard on that outside curb. Gasly's through as well, and now we've just damaged our rear wing our underbody even more, and we've now lost in one lap 3 seconds to our teammate. This is the final lap of the Grand Prix. At the most crucial point of the track here, there is the new DRS zone here. Verstappen's going to close in on us as Carlos Sainz crosses the line to win there for McLaren Audi. Huge congratulations to those guys. It's really good to see them back at the front. But now we can't focus on that because our teammate is coming to take this position off us in the last sector of the track. He's going to go around the outside and we're going to go side by side through here, but I just don't have the grip, so we're going to try and hold position here, but he just easily gets the move done around our outside. You can see trying anything to get back ahead of our teammate, locking up the wheels, but in the end, it's going to be P7 for Max, P8 for ourselves. In the end, it's been an absolutely abysmal weekend at home after starting on pole. Oh, it's just all gone wrong.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Another superb Australian Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
And whilst we have to go back home and think about what could have been here for us this weekend, it is very nice, I must say, to see the McLarens back on top. I don't know what went wrong for them this season, but they do get a little bit of redemption here in Australia, and hopefully they can carry that on to the rest of the weekend. But it is Carlos Sainz that wins the race there with Lando Norris in second. Sainz winning by an astounding 17 seconds as well over his teammate. So very dominant victory there for Carlos. Our rival though, Charles Leclerc, in P3. That's going to really hurt our championship lead over him. Luckily, Verstappen only gaining 2 points on us this weekend. But yeah, we could have probably, almost sealed completely 100% the Constructors' title if we had just not had that underbody damage there. But yeah, in terms of the driver standings, 13 points over Max, 16 points over Leclerc, only 3 points between our teammate and Charles. And yeah, there's no race buffer between the three of us now. If we have a real bad race again next time out and Leclerc or Max have a good one, we won't be leading anymore. There's only 2 rounds left, so anything can happen. In terms of the Constructors, we have 37 points over Ferrari, so we are getting very close, I guess I should say there, to that title at least. McLaren have overtaken Mercedes with that excellent round for them there. But yeah, we're in Jeddah at Saudi Arabia next for the penultimate round of Season 3. If you guys did enjoy and want to see more content like this in the future, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.